Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our next to last art class of this year, but not our next to last art class. We are so excited to have you here tonight, and we are doing something very different, and I'm excited about that. I have a very quick announcement. Here at AnCan, we are doing a whole AnCan wide survey because we want to try to make us as good and as better as possible so we can make sure that we are serving you and is taking care of you as best as possible. So I will post the link here in the chat if you were live, and if you were here in the recording, it will be in the description below. And with that, Hannah, oh my gosh. Number one, briefly tell us them for inspiration behind this, and then tell us what we need because I know we need some stuff. And then let's get started. I'm so excited.
Yes, let's do it. Thank you, Alexa, for the lovely introduction. Okay, so this project, we're basically constructing an owl. Okay, so we have the different parts of the owl that are cutouts of different papers. So if you don't have any fancy papers, any scrapbooking papers at all, that's okay. I'm going to show you how to make those yourself. Okay. So this was actually inspired by Day of the Dead. Okay, if you've ever seen Coco, right, the Disney movie Coco, you've probably seen the really colorful animals that are in the underworld. There's the one with the what is it? I think it's the jaguar with the wings. I forget her name, but it's that kind of animal. Okay, obviously this is not an alebrije. They're called alebrijes. Okay, and it was inspired by that. And I actually had a different class that I taught where we created our own alebrijes. Well, that was such a fun class. I wanted to do it again, but this time I decided to do fall themed instead. Since it's Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving's like next week. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We are constructing our own owl. Okay, inspired by the movie Coco, you could say. So I'll go ahead and go over the supplies that we'll need. Okay. So, of course, everybody here is going to need some paper. Okay. And we're going to need a place to actually put your actual picture. Okay. So, save a piece of paper for that. But depending on what you're doing, you may need some extra papers. Okay. If you have to cut out your own and cut out and create your own sections for the owl, then you're going to need some extra pieces of paper. So it could be scraps. You could have perhaps some artwork that you don't really like or you don't know what to do with it. Cut it up. Okay. Use that to cut it up. Okay. So preferably different colors. All right. If this is you, if you do not have your own scrapbooking paper to use, then I'm going to show you how to paint it. Okay. You see all this texture back here? I'm going to show everybody how to do that texture. If you have to create your extra owl parts, then you are going to do that same technique, but it's going to be different colors. Okay. And you get to pick and choose what colors you use for that. Okay. And I will go over that a little bit more in detail. So cut out number two. Okay. We have tissue paper. So our leaves back here, these are all pieces of tissue paper. So if you don't have tissue paper, or perhaps you just don't have like the right color tissue paper, then you can actually create your own tissue paper using napkins. So just regular old napkins. I have a roll right here, or coffee filters. So go and grab those coffee filters and napkins if you need those. I'll get started on those in a little bit as well. I'll teach you how to do that. So there's a lot of components to this, okay? But the bigger thing to remember is that we are going to be either cutting things out or creating our own scrape paintings. We're going to be painting the components of our owl, okay? So I think we can get started. Let me go over everything we need now, okay? I mentioned scrap paper. I mentioned a paper for your background. I mentioned the scrapbook paper, so the pretty papers here, if you have those, you need those. I mentioned tissue paper already. For the colors, though, we're going to use acrylic paints. So for this background, I used blue and white. That's it, just blue and white, and it happened to be like a blue that looked kind of dark already. So, but those are the only two colors I used. You are more than welcome to use more. Of course, do whatever you want, okay? I imagine my owl to be out at night, okay? It's an owl. And all of this white right here, it's just an abstract representation of snow. That's it. Just blue and white. I have black though for the branches. All right. Black, blue, and white for our colors. Of course, if you have to create your own owl parts, any other colors you want to do. So grab all your colors if that's what you want to do. Okay. For anyone who needs to create their own owl from scratch. What else do we need? Paintbrush, of course. We only need a round brush for the branches. So any kind of like medium round brush. So either a 6 or an 8, something like that. Now I created more branches than I intended to because I love branches and I just tend to like go overboard. You don't have to have this many branches if you don't want to paint that many. And also you're going to need a smaller brush. So a tiny round brush. So these two. And this is just for any kind of small branches that you might want to make. And that's it. So for the background though, all of this texture that you see, that's created using a gift card. Or at least if you have like a cardboard or just something that's more stiff. That way you can scrape the painting against the paper. I'm sorry, scrape the paint against the paper. This is called a scrape painting because you're literally going to scrape it, okay? Anything that's kind of hard, if you're going to use a gift card, make sure it's empty. Make sure there's like no money on it, all right? You can use like, I don't know, an old credit card. Again, non-working, okay? Um, what else? You can use like an old hotel key card. That works too. So anyway, there's that. If you don't have anything like that, then take a piece of paper, really any of your piece of your papers, and you can scrape using a folded piece of paper. So you fold it. It might be a little bit harder to handle, but make sure it's grippable, okay? And you can scrape using that. Again, it's going to be a little bit more flimsy, but it's better than nothing, I think. So again, you can make your own using your own. Yeah, somebody says not your ID. Yeah, don't use any kind of those important cards. Okay. Scraper, that's one thing. Get a pencil and an eraser. I had one around here somewhere. Where's my eraser? So get a pencil and eraser. Um, Also a thick marker of some sort, preferably like a Sharpie, just so you can maybe create the beak and create the was it the eyes? If you need to create the eyes, you can color those in. But also we're going to use this to cut out our owl too. Okay. There's a process for that. So we want something thick, thick permanent marker. Also a palette. Okay. Get a palette. I prefer a palette that has like one of these areas that's a little bit more elongated so that I can tap my card into this little spot right here. So I'll probably be using these two spots. So something that's a bit more flat. It's not necessary though, like you don't have to do it like that. Tape, okay? Because I am going to be taping down my paper, specifically blue painter tape. So if you have that, this would be best. Masking tape does tend to tear, so I usually shy away from masking tape, but depending on how you use it, it may not be a big deal. But I'm going to use the blue masking tape, again, to tape my piece of paper so that it doesn't move whenever I do the scrape painting. Of course, we need scissors. We're going to cut it out, okay? We're going to cut our owl out. Want those scissors. What am I missing? Glue. We need glue. So let's get our glue, or if you happen to have Mod Podge, you can use the Mod Podge too. What else? I believe that's it. I don't have the list that I created in front of me, but I believe that's it. I forgot to mention actually another alternative to the paint scraper. the gift card. If you don't have a gift card, you can actually also use a palette knife too. So a painting palette knife. If you have that, that's even better.
Hannah,
Um,
I posted all the
yes.
supplies in the chat and you hit
Thank
everything.
you.
So you
Good. Okay.
defeated Cogfog today. So pat yourself on
Thank
the
you.
back.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Laura had a great idea. An old business card or stiff piece of junk mail can also work as a scraper
Oh
too.
yeah.
So great
Oh, that's a great
idea.
idea. Like the was it the fake credit cards that they send you?
See,
Put
that could
those
be your
things to work.
revenge. That's what you can do.
Yes, that's your revenge. Use those things. Okay, that's a brilliant idea. Okay, good. So we got everything. We hit all the check marks. Something that I forgot to put on there, just to stay organized, help yourself stay organized and help yourself stay clean. Perhaps get a little trash bin or just like a small cup of some kind where you can just put your trash pieces of paper in there as they come along, or cut over this, like use your scissors over your bowl or whatever you have to catch the trash so that there's less for you to pick up. I'm very messy. Okay, I need this stuff. So what else was there? But also if you happen to have like something else that you can just keep things in, like perhaps you can put your papers that you cut out in a little bin of some sort. Again, just to keep things organized and clear for you to see. Okay. Another thing, if you happen to get too much of this, the trash or like the waste on your floor, you can use a lint roller to pick up the tiny pieces that are really hard to grasp and pick up. Either a lint roller or like a thicker piece of tape. You can use that. But yeah, I think I covered everything. Um, Water and napkin. Yeah, we do need some water just to kind of clean off that one brush that we use. Get a napkin so that you can clean everything else off just in case. And then another optional thing, I know I'm going kind of fast. Optional thing though, cover up your workspace with like newspaper or cardboard if that's what you need. Okay. You don't have to do that. Clearly, I don't care about that, so I'm not going to do that. Questions? Do you guys have questions for me? I'm going to clear space here, but if not, we can get started. And first thing I'm going to take out is my paper for the background. Okay. So this is my main paper right here. So I'll take out my main paper and move this forward. I'm going to use that tape to just kind of tape it down on maybe two spots. I don't need a whole lot of space. And the only reason I'm not going to tape it all down completely is because I do want to move this out of the way in a little bit. Because I want this space so I can work, and I want to be able to move the tape easily. So I'm just going to tape a little bit of it, not a whole lot. Maybe just up here. Because again, I want to be able to remove the tape so I can move this out of the way whenever I do other things over here. Okay, so it won't reach the end of the table. That's okay. We can easily move it for the most part. Now this is where we get to paint that background, okay? Now I mentioned blue and white for the background, okay? So ta-da, all that texture. We get to jump right into the painting portion. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and I'll pour out my white paint. You, of course, are welcome to use any other color for the background as well. So pour out some of that white paint and let me get that blue. I don't remember exactly which blue I used. I just grabbed the first one that I saw. Now, you can pour it out on your palette if you want to, but actually, I just remembered you can alternatively also put it directly on your piece of paper too, if you want to do something cool and fun, okay? You could do either way. You could do the palette or you could do the paper. So you don't need to put a whole lot on there. You can take it and scrape And I am going to scrape first with my blue because I want to get that blue on there. See that? That buildup here? I can scrape it down. I can flatten it. That's the method where I just poured it out. You might get a little bit dirty, okay, because you might have to touch the paint parts. But if you happen to put it on your palette, you can take this and swipe some back and forth. See how I'm kind of picking it up like that? And then I can continue and put it right on. As you can see, I was able to cover some more ground using the pour out method. I at least want to get some of this paint on here before I put the white paint. And what I'm going to do is I'll go back and forth between the two. Back and forth between blue. You can add another blue if you want to. I don't remember if that's what I did on the original, but I'm happy to show you what it looks like to add another blue. So at any point, does not matter when, you can go ahead and jump into the white and either pour it out right on top or grab it from your palette. See how I'm just kind of scraping it on top? Because it's wet, some of it mixes, some of it doesn't, depending on how you scrape it onto the paper. You start to see some of that texture coming through, and we just want to cover the whole thing. Cover the whole thing. I guess I will go ahead and add a second blue. I do like to pick it up too. That way I can have some shorter brush strokes. Just makes for a more interesting texture, I think. But before I bring in a second blue just to show you what it looks like, I do want to add some blue on top of the white. That way I can show you the difference, the layering effect, I should say. Because there is a slight layering effect. And that's one reason I really love this technique, is that you can see the different layers. So I've got the white sandwiched in between. See these little spots right here? I love those little spots. I'm also going to put plenty of paint at the edges as well, okay? I'm not avoiding it on purpose. I'm just having fun in the middle here. So let's see. Let me add another blue. Let's see. That way you guys can see what it looks like to layer blues. I don't know. I have this one. I don't know if this is different enough. This one's pretty different. It's like a dark sea teal. It's different enough. Maybe I will just kind of tap it here. See what happens there. Y'all have questions? Any concerns? Anything at all? Comments? I'm going to get right up to the edge there. Even if you lose some of your original blue, that's all right. You can add it back in. You can get it again. It's that texture that we are looking for. I've added some white on top. I'm just having fun with it. That's the whole point. Just have fun with the texture. I'm really glad I taped it down, although my top piece of tape did come off. Just need to put it back there. Anyone doing a different color? Anything completely different from what we see here? No? Now, this technique is the same technique that you're going to do if you need to create your own scrap paper. Okay, so the papers that you're going to use to cut out your owl, you can actually start on that at any point now. Okay, we want to get all of our painting done in the beginning, kind of that way it dries. We want it to dry. I might add a bit more white. And then I'll go back to my original blue. I feel like I need to add a bit more blue down here, so I'm going to do that. Try to get to the edge. So anyway, like I said, you can begin the process for creating your owl parts at any point. But I will show you, you don't need to make a huge scrape painting for each body part that you want, okay? I'll show you what I mean in a minute. There we go. I want to add a bit more of the second blue. And then I think I'll probably stop. Probably. We'll see. I really like these marks, the sideways mark. Like these parts right here. Yeah, so maybe I'll just add a bit of white and then call it a day for that. I'll just do it directly on top. I'm just kind of flinging it. I'm not really pressing down too hard for these extra textures. Now I do want to show you a piece of paper, a small piece of paper that I used for my just for scrap paper for one of the owl parts. I know I always tell you I'm going to do one thing and I'm going to stop, and I never do. It's like I always find something else to do. I swear I'll stop eventually, though. Okay. Stop it. All right, let me set that down. Now, let me show you that piece of paper. So I made this earlier, just a scrap piece of paper. Something I had cut up, I don't know, a long time ago. And I can use these two portions for different parts of my bird. And honestly, I'll probably add use another scrap piece of paper. So I don't know, I just found this. I don't know where, I don't know what I used it for, but I had this scrap piece of paper. And the reason I'm using smaller pieces, at least for this part, is because some parts of our bird are small. That's just how they are. They're small. So I actually have a list right here that you guys are welcome to take a picture of, perhaps, if you want to. If I don't know, you can take a screenshot if you want to keep it, or you can just kind of write it down. We're going to need body parts for all of these different parts of the bird, okay? Might help if you see it too. But the head, of course, the eyes, the beak, the wing, the body, the feet, and then optional forehead and eyebrows. As you can see, my forehead is different, and I had to attach some eyebrows. Now, they're not actually eyebrows, okay? Now, why don't I put this down? They have like a name for the eyebrow portions. I just don't remember what it is. But anyway, I put medium or small or large or tiny next to it, okay, depending on what it is, okay? That way you can kind of sort of gauge what size to cut out, okay? Or what, I'm sorry, not what size to cut out. You can sort of gauge how much of the paper to color, okay? How much of the paper needs to be colored. One of these steps will apply to everybody, okay? We're all going to draw out our owl first. All of us are going to be drawing our owls, and then we're going to, but we're going to do this on a separate piece of paper, okay? We're going to draw our owls on a piece of paper that we can cut out, and we're going to use those cutouts as a tracing, as a guide for us. So all of us are going to do that. All of us need an extra paper that we can draw our owl onto. And that's how we get the different parts of our owl, okay? Okay. Is it okay if I move this, or should I leave it there? I'll leave it there for another few seconds. Yeah, so you guys can write that down.
Hannah, I have a question real quick.
Yes.
What expression were you going for with your owl?
Well, I think the eyebrows just kind of make him look a little annoyed. He wasn't supposed to be annoyed though.
I kind of agree with
he's just he looks annoyed.
That's just his face. It's just how it looks, okay? It's RBF. But he's very sweet, okay? I promise he's a very sweet owl.
He has quite the backstory.
Yes, well, he's vegetarian.
Oh, okay.
Because his mama, loves rats. So, gotta be vegetarian. Okay. Mind if I move this now? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I will do that and move this now. So anyway, you guys, those of you who need to make your papers, you can go ahead and do that now, okay? Especially now while we're waiting for the background to dry. I'm not going to move my piece of paper just yet though, just because in a few moments we're gonna do the branches. Just the branches, okay? I'm just waiting for this to dry a little bit more. And then we can do those branches.
I'm confused, Hannah. Are we supposed to make the shape like this one you have there on the white? Are we supposed to make that shape over the picture?
Which shape?
The white that you have that you just took
Oh,
off.
this piece? Oh, this piece?
Yeah. Are we supposed
to? No, I'm just showing examples.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a scrap piece of paper that I have that was lying around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll scrape like some color on it. I don't know what color yet. And because because our owl is not very big, I can still fit a bunch of colors on here and use them for different body parts.
Oh, I see. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, because I don't have paper, so I can make my own.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have scraps, if you have like I don't know, extra pieces of artwork that you made in the past and you don't like those artwork, give them new life, okay? Give those artwork to new life. Use that to cut out your owl, okay? And just
wrapping paper.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, use wrapping paper.
I've got all the Christmas wrapping paper. I couldn't think of anything else. Yeah.
That's a great suggestion.
Only problem is it's all Christmas.
or magazines. Use magazines.
I look at magazines and there's no pictures. It's all writing because I have the MS Focus. I have the let me see what I have. MS Navigator.
Yeah.
MS Focus, MS Foundation, Momentum. They don't really have pictures. If you look at it, I was looking at all.
Yeah, that's true. They don't have too much.
Yeah.
I do want to show you guys how to create tissue paper in case you don't have tissue paper, okay? And I want to do it now pretty early on because it's going to take a little bit to dry, okay? What we'll do
Hannah, I have a
Mm,
question
yeah.
before you go into that. How big is your background paper, and then how big is your owl?
Yes. So
Might
the
have,
background, yeah, the background paper, the whole thing is 9 by 12 inches.
okay.
And the whole owl, I don't
No,
know.
just your owl, just the owl itself.
Yeah, just the owl. I don't know. It's maybe about 6 inches tall. Oh,
Okay,
it's
thanks.
no, I'm sorry. It's probably about 9 inches tall. Yeah, because
Okay,
this way is 12 inches. So it's probably about 9 inches. Yeah.
okay. All right,
Yeah.
thanks.
Hmm. Yeah. Any other questions? Anything else? Okay. I'm just going to set this aside for a moment because for those of us who need that tissue paper, I do want to get that started now because I mentioned that it takes a bit to dry, okay? So I don't need a lot at all. I'm just going to take one little spot here. I'm just going to set my paper aside, okay? And I'm going to fold it in half, okay? That way I can, cover more ground. So I'm going to grab my leaf colors, all right? My leaf colors, they can be anywhere from yellows, browns, oranges, reds, even purples. I always add purple. Um, so I'm going to show you. I made this earlier. So this is a piece of paper that I created. Okay, this is a piece of paper that I painted with acrylic paints. Okay, so it's fully dry right now, so totally usable. So take your color. Oh yes, and down here, this is a coffee filter. However, I don't have any coffee filters to paint live, but it's the same method though, okay? If you have a coffee filter, same exact method. So I'm gonna take my color of choice, my leaf color of choice. I wanna be generous with my color, okay? I have a lot. I'm also gonna use a lot of water too, because it's a napkin. It does absorb a lot. It absorbs a lot of water. Makes sense. I am also going to use a big brush. Any shape. It doesn't matter. It only serves as a vehicle to carry the paint to the paper. So I'm going to take my water, start to dilute it, just kind of grab some of that. Ooh, just a little side note, probably important to mention now. Once I'm finished creating my tissue paper napkin, I need to set it down somewhere else to dry. So I'm gonna take I could take like another piece of paper, or I could take perhaps the back of my sketchbook, something absorbent. That way it'll dry faster. The water will be sucked in to whatever it is you put it on top of. So take your watery paint, and honestly, I'll probably want more water. So I'm going to scoop some over. And what do you know? I can just wipe up the stain with my towel. All you have to do now is paint it. That is it. You just paint it. Making sure that it's pretty soaked.
Are you doing more than one color?
Yeah, I can. I've never done this, but it might be kind of cool to see what it looks like just with double colors on top. Yeah, let me do that. What if I put like an orange right next to it, or even like a brown? Let's just do one color just to make it easy. Yeah, this might be kind of cool. Same process. Dilute it with lots and lots of water. I imagine that it will absorb and kind of create like a watercolor effect. That's how I think it would work out. Yeah, ish. You can add more water on top just to kind of spread it out a bit more. It's not too shabby though. Now, none of this has to be orderly because we're just going to cut it out anyway. Like this is just, it's going to become leaves. So we really don't need it to be nice looking. We just need it to be soaked. We want it to have lots of paint on it. That's all. In a moment, I will turn it over and just get the remainder of the backside, whatever didn't soak through. Yep, and that was a lot, so I have to get some more. Where's my yellow? I have to pour out some more yellow. There we go. Continue on. Very watery. It's totally okay that I have the orange on the other side. It just means it's more mixed. And again, we want to start this as soon as possible. So this is just for those who need that tissue paper. It's a really good idea, Marcy. I like this effect. There. Done, done, done. Done with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab let's see. You can have like another piece of paper, just another piece of paper to put it on top of, or you can take your sketchbook and just turn it over. We want to unfold it. There we go. Unfold it. And I'm going to lay it flat. Let me show you. I'm going to lay it flat on here. Not only does it get the extra water absorption from underneath, but it also gets to air dry as well. So we're just going to leave that alone. Preferably set it under a fan, or just come back to it and just fan it off yourself with like your hand or something else. But I'll just set it aside, okay? Oh, there's a cat there. I can't set it there. There's always a cat. Okay, so I will come back to that. Let me just wipe this off. Okay, now would be a good time to start your other scrap papers. So if you need like owl parts, go ahead and start to create those. In a moment, I'll come back to our original paper. That way we can do the black the black branches. So we can honestly we can do that at any time. It doesn't really matter when we do that. For those of you who have your scrapbooking paper already, go ahead and just take it out and just take a look at what you've got. Okay, start choosing your papers. I have all of these. I always get so excited whenever I do get a chance to take these out. So I'll use at least one of these. So start choosing your papers while we're all making our own different colors. So I'll just go over, just kind of what goes through my head whenever I'm creating the other pieces of the owl. Because again, don't forget, they don't need to be very big. So honestly, I could just put another color on top of here. Whatever color you want to do, that's what you do, okay? So I'll just pick, I don't know, let's say 3 colors. So maybe I'll just start with 3 colors and go from there.
And what's this for?
This is just to show anybody who needs to do, like, create their own pieces of the owl.
Right, that's me.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I want to show you, maybe I'll divide.
Hey, I drew an owl, and am I supposed to cut out the...
Oh, yeah, you
cut
already.
that out, and then...
Oh, well, I'm gonna go over how to do that part.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll go over that I'll do that part whenever we all get to like a stopping point, I guess. So for now, we want to just create those scrap pieces of paper. The only two big portions of the owl are going to be the wing and the body, okay? So I would do those on a big piece of paper. So just like a big, I'll take another one of my 9x12s and I'll just paint this one two different colors, okay? So I didn't take any color out of this one, so let me get this. And I'm just gonna slap some colors on, that's it. Just going to put a few dots here and there. The only thing that matters is just to take the colors that you think are pretty, and then we'll just scrape them. I don't know where my gift card went. Oh, here it is. Do that. And I'll just go this way. It's that texture that I'm looking for. Since I have this extra, may as well just put it on here. Just so I can use the extra and I'm not wasting anything. Just set it there. So maybe I'm just playing around with colors here, okay? In case you're wondering my thought process, there's really no thought process. I'm just using any colors that I like. And I love these two colors, so I definitely want to do that. Can always make it lighter by adding the white on top. So I'm thinking ahead, maybe I can use this part for, I don't know, maybe either my eyes or my head. Maybe even my feet. That'd be kind of nice as feet. So I'll let that dry. I'm gonna wipe this off. I'm thinking I may or may not put another color on here. You may reach a point where you think your piece of paper is complete. You could just set it aside and dry it, or let it dry, I should say. But you can always come back to it and you can always add another color on top of it, okay? That's what I did to this. I added some orange on top of this greenish color that I already had. So I added that orange on top. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that the only two portions of your owl that need to be bigger are going to be the wing and the body. So that's what I'm going to work on with my big piece of paper. So perhaps I'll just use yellow. Yellow's here. Why not? And then why don't I use a little bit of pink? Just make it completely different. And then we'll see, we'll go there, or go from there. So here is my gift card. Now I keep forgetting to tape my piece of paper down. So I'll do that in a second. That way I don't have to keep holding on to it. And because I'm cutting it out, it really doesn't matter where I put tape. I'm just gonna cut it out anyway. There we go. Now, how many of you guys brought your own scrap paper to cut from? Just want to gauge how many of us are. Oh, cool. Marion got some. Awesome. So I think most of us are working on making our own scrap paper. It's totally fine. I'm just wondering. So put this here. I'll definitely use a combination. I'll use a combination because, why not? I'm making it anyway, so why not? So this one, I think I've decided I want this one to be my body. I'm really liking the colors and the layering of the colors, so I think that's what I'll do. This will be the body. And again, it is the bigger one. I've added the yellow and the white and the pink. I may as well add like a little streak of teal since I love teal so much. If you've taken any class with me, you'll know just how much I use teal in so many of my classes. There we go. Okay, so this is the part with the body. This is the wing, so perhaps I will use, let me throw in some brown. Let's do a bit of brown, a bit of purple and teal. How are you doing, Karen?
I've entered a new phase
Oh,
of studying the brushes and what they do and how can I do this.
yeah. The age
So
of
I'm focusing on that, like how to get textures with the different and how to not be confused, like not to go into too many different applications.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing though, because you're starting to I don't know, I guess increase your memory of these different tools, which is
No, you
awesome.
wouldn't believe it, but after all these years with you, 2.5, I'm like, maybe I should pay attention to when she says round brush and flat tip brush. And how do I get that was after my leaf failure of the trees.
Your leaf failure. What was
Of
that?
the trees, yeah, because I couldn't get the right paintbrush, and I'm like, okay, I need
Oh,
to learn
that's
the paintbrush. The colors are okay. I learned from that. I realized
yeah.
every project doesn't have to be amazing.
Because you learn from it, right?
Yeah.
As long as you learned something. And I feel like you do learn even if you don't feel like you are learning anything. If that makes sense.
Well, I'm paying attention. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, my herbs were too dark. Okay, I lowered them. Then I lost the layer. So yeah, with this now, I'm just playing with the canvas in the background, and I was playing with other things.
Nice.
How am I going to get my pieces so that I could fill them in instead of coloring them in?
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of coloring them in. Yeah, I like that. You're thinking critically about it. Okay, so I'm gonna set
I'm
this
stuck
aside.
though on like, what does the owl look like? Okay, you said that, but I'm waiting for that part. When you go, here's the
Yeah.
shape. Okay, thank you. That's
I'm
what I need.
I'm thinking I'll start on the owl in maybe another 2 minutes. That doesn't mean that you have to be finished with your scraping, your paint scraping, okay? Doesn't mean you have to be finished. It just means that I want to get you guys started on it. Okay, so I am finished with my 2 sections here. So I am going to set that aside. I'm running out of space, guys. I'll put it down here. Yeah, I'll put it down here. Okay. All right, so that is that. I'm gonna grab another paper for my owl. Now, again, this is something that all of us are gonna do. Okay, everybody here is gonna we're gonna draw the owl. I'll go step by step, and then we're gonna go over it with our Sharpie marker, or just anything that will allow you to see your lines a little bit more clearly. Doesn't mean you need a Sharpie marker. And then we'll cut out the different components, okay? So let me go ahead and break that down again for you with the original, especially while you're finishing some of these parts for your scrape painting. So let me break down what we're actually looking at, okay? So you see different patterns for different parts of the owl. So that means I had to cut out every single part that you see. But that's okay because I drew it all out first. This whole thing was a drawing, and then I literally cut out the circle, literally cut out the forehead. I didn't cut out the beak or the eyebrows, so ignore those for now. So I cut out the head, I cut out the forehead, I cut out the eyes, I cut out the wing, the body, and the little feet down here. Okay. Now my feet, they look a little wonky, all right, and that's okay. They're going to be very simple. We want to be able to cut them easily. So the exceptions to our drawing are going to be the beak and the eyebrows, okay? You don't have to have the eyebrows, okay? If you want your owl to not have those eyebrows and just be cutesy, that's okay. You don't have to have them. But I did cut them out separately, okay? So we're not going to draw the eyebrows, and we're not going to draw the beak. And actually, now that I remember it, I didn't cut out the eyes. I glued the eyes directly on. So we're really just going to cut out the head, honestly. And I'll go over all of that again in a minute. So I want to grab my pencil and my eraser and my Sharpie. Because again, I'm using the Sharpie because I just feel like I can keep track of my cuttings, like what I'm cutting a little bit more easily. Where did I put my pencil? It's just here. You ever like think you're prepared, but then you don't feel like it? There we go.
Never.
It's like, right? Never.
I'm always prepared.
Never. I know. So you guys saw I had all of my things out in the beginning. I laid it all out, and now it's gone. Half of it's gone. I think I have like a wormhole in here somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. So let's draw our owl now. Again, I'm using a brand new sheet of paper. Honestly, it can be smaller than this. It's because, like I mentioned earlier, this is maybe estimate like 9 inches tall, so not very tall. So let's get started on that. So, I want to start out with my head, and then we're going to draw a big old like upside down teardrop shape for the body and the wing. So my head is just gonna be a little circle, or either a circle or like is it an oval? If you miss the mark like I did, that's okay. This is why you have an eraser. I didn't do that on purpose. It's okay, I've got an eraser. Honestly, I feel like I could probably have a head that's a little bit bigger than that. Maybe I will make it a little bit bigger. I'm not really too worried about my pencil marks because again, we're cutting this out, and this right here is only a template. There we go. This is just a template. So
for me though, I'm gonna just put my owl right on the screen, right?
Yeah, you just put it there. Yeah, you don't need to, you have no mess to do with, so that's great.
Yeah, but I got the mess in my head.
Yeah, because you do with that. Yeah, you have to think differently. For anyone wondering, Karen uses a digital pad, so a tablet. Okay, so let's also draw an upside down teardrop shape. It's kind of crooked. Okay, I know this is very specific. It's kind of crooked. And then after we draw the whole thing, we'll divide it. Okay, we'll put the actual wing in there. So, let's see. It's going to be upside down. You are more than welcome to flip your page if that's easier for you, okay? And I mentioned that it's kind of it's kind of lopsided, and I can see that the point is a little closer to the corner right here. So just a little guide, I guess. You can always adjust it. Now, it doesn't really matter how far inside, like past the head you go. It's okay if you go very far or not far at all. There we go. Just realized you guys probably need to be able to see that. So I'm going to darken my lines here. That way you guys can see it a little bit better. There. I want y'all to see that. I would say if the top of your teardrop doesn't go very far, maybe you can just kind of stretch it a little bit, because it might look a little bit funny to have the head too far up, but it's okay. Oh, you know what? I'm remembering now. Oh, I'm remembering now that I actually did not have the body attached to the head. That's kind of funny. It's okay. We don't have to worry about that right now. But yeah, I had actually created it separately. I'm just now remembering that. That's okay. So that means for the wing, I am going to just kind of separate this, but when I cut it, I'm actually going to cut it a little bit differently. I'll show you in a little bit. So I want to start the wing up here, and I want the end of the wing to reach the end here. So you don't have to get it all in one go. That's all right if you don't. I am going to distort these shapes. Like I'll probably maybe make the wing a little bit longer, and I'll show you how I do that, okay? I'll distort the shapes just a little bit. That way they don't fit perfectly together. We don't want them to fit perfectly together when we actually glue our actual pieces together. We want a little few differences. So I've separated that. I want to go ahead and create the feet. However, if yours are like mine and your feet don't fit, it's okay. We're going to create the feet separate, okay? We're going to make separate feet. Now these guys, I remember I had actually created the feet as an afterthought because I just forgot that owls need feet, of course. Silly me. So what I did was I had to compare it. Like I had to kind of put my piece of paper next to the owl. So we're going to go on the side here, just anywhere close, and create a U shape, like an upside down U. But then add 3 or 4 different toes, like that. Very crude, okay, very abstract, but it does make them easier to cut out, okay? Makes them easier to cut out. That's what we want. We want to make things easier for ourselves. I accidentally made one bigger than the other, but I'll just adjust it. It's better to have bigger feet, honestly, because then there's more to hide underneath the owl. You see the owl kind of like overlaps the feet. It's better to have them a little bit bigger. So let me just try to make it matching, but now this one's bigger.
Is the head the head's not exactly round, right?
No, it's not. No, it's kind of what's the word? Oval-ish. But I mean it can be round though. So those feet are separate. We can go ahead and draw some circles for the eyes. So we're not going to draw the eyes inside the owl. There's going to be outside the owl. But the reason I want them to be outside the owl is so you can kind of sort of gauge or estimate how big they should be. So I will draw them next to each other. So I want my owls to have bigger eyes than that. Like I just want them to be big, big eyes. And if I wanted them to be smaller, at least I can do that. I can make them smaller. Oh, you know what I'm realizing? You only need one circle. Forget that because you can use it to trace. Duh. Yes, you don't have to try so hard like I did. Now you're welcome to draw an elongated, like football shape, I guess, for the eyebrows if you want to do that. So again, I'll do it close to my eyeball. That way I can kind of gauge just how big to make it. I could always make it bigger, which I think I will do. I think I'll make it bigger. So I have more to cut. Okay, so that's for the eyebrows. And then a beak. So notice how I drew the beak in, but the entire shape is more of an oval. So it's a very long oval. So that's all we need. It's just a long oval. Like that. And we will draw this part in there. We'll do that later. Okay, whenever you're ready, go ahead and either darken your lines with your pencil, or you can go over it with a Sharpie.
How many feet does, I'm confused looking at the feet.
Down here.
How many feet does the owl have?
Oh, how many toes? I mean, I don't know how many
feet?
they
Like,
actually
are there
have.
4 feet? You know, are they like dogs? Or are they
No, there's only 2 feet.
There's only 2 feet because in the
Yeah.
back of the bottom of that, you know, underneath the sort of orange color, it looks like there's more because it's a collage. Okay.
Oh, it looks like there's more over here.
Yeah, it looks like that's a foot. And then next to
Oh, I
that's something
see.
else.
Oh yeah, it's the kind of paper that I use is creating that optical illusion because
Okay.
the paper has an interesting pattern on it. That's what we're seeing.
Okay. At least I'm asking.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you asked because I didn't
I
see
don't know.
that.
Last time I made an owl, my friend made fun of the beak. I'm like, don't do
Oh,
that. I'm new at this.
oh
Like,
no.
don't embarrass me.
Oh. Your friend made fun of your beak. Oh.
Well, she thought I could take it, and I was like, no.
No,
So
kid.
she majored in like animal studies, you know, so she knew how to see
Oh.
what they look like. I'm like, I don't. I'm just following. I'm just doing what my teacher said to do.
Just following what she said.
I know nothing.
All right, guys. Okay, so you can start cutting things out whenever you've got that. Start with the little things first, okay? And then we'll work on the big things. So but there's a reason I want to do the big things later. So we'll just do the little things first. I like to start out by just cutting out the section that I want. And this is where you can kind of take a cup or just some kind of container. That way it catches all the tiny pieces that fall out. Just cut it. So I'll start with that. And I always like to just do some little snips. Whatever makes cutting this easiest, that's what you do. So for me, that's just, I'm not trying to wiggle my scissors in and out of the toes. I'm just moving them from the outside. So I don't want to stress myself out like that. Cutting them from the outside. Okay, so there's that. Other one. At some point, we'll all just kind of be working at our own pace because some of you guys, like you might decide you need a little bit extra, like you need to make a little bit extra scrap paper that you can cut out. So you'll need to paint that. It really just depends on you and what you need. But for now, we're all just cutting everything. That toe's a little bit bigger,
And
but
then
that's
you
all right.
purposely made the eyebrows almost look like ears.
It's interesting because on owls, or at least like depending on the owl, like that part does connect into the ears. So yeah, on some owls, I think like maybe a barn owl, I'm not quite sure. Maybe a horned owl, like this part does go out to start to look like an ear. But in some, not so much. So this owl is totally made up. There we go. So there's my little feet. Going to put it in my little catch-all spot. So I have a little container here. Set that there. Let's cut out this part. Ooh, something I forgot to ask you guys. Has anyone done anything fun or creative in the last month or week? Few weeks? Recently? Anyone? Anyone decorating their house really in a really interesting way for the holidays?
A little too early.
A little early. What about fall theme? Have you done fall theme?
Saucing?
No, fall themed? Because for me, I wanted to get some little like a fall leaf garland of some sort. But everybody's moving on to Christmas. Joanne,
Last week, someone already had their tree up, or actually
yeah.
Trees up.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it everywhere actually. There's a business center that's right off of the highway that's right next to my apartment complex. And this business center, I passed by there at night and you could see through their top windows on the third story. So it's the top third story, and you could see that they had literally dozens of Christmas trees all lit up and in a row in like inside of there. So I'm guessing they put it on as a display so that everybody could see it. It was really pretty. As you can imagine, Texas takes Christmas very seriously.
They take everything seriously.
They take everything seriously.
Oh, Hannah,
Uh-huh.
we went to visit our son. He's studying in Strasbourg. It's on the French-German border.
Oh, okay.
And one of his friends made this beautiful pastel. Oh, it's kind of got glare on it. Made,
Of the boys.
of Snoopy and Riley.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my gosh.
I know. That's so good too.
Yeah, well, so he sent her a picture. You can see the mountains in the background
Oh,
at my mom's. And so we didn't know she was making it. It's so
wow.
special.
That's so good too. You said it was pastel?
She used like colored pencils and pastel. Yeah, let's see if I can get better light over here. It was just a lot of glare.
Wow, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, she really captured their
Yeah.
anyway.
Their essence, yeah, captured their essence.
Yes.
Beautiful.
We were so happy about it.
Did you say what she was studying?
She's actually studying saxophone composition.
Ooh,
So she's a music major, but
wow.
didn't even know she was an artist. So
Wow, that's really cool. Good for her.
yeah.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
yeah, I love it. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Doll games. Anyone else want to share something? Let's go ahead and try to remember how I did this. Oh, let me go ahead and connect this part. I forgot to connect this part. Yeah, so I'm connecting this part. We didn't draw this out, but I'm just stretching it. So stretch it inside the head. So I'm trying to remember how I did this. Okay, so let's go ahead and yeah, I'm trying to remember. Actually, I actually did not need these lines inside the head. So I'm just going to scribble these out because we don't need these. I'm going to cut out the head separately, and then I'll also cut out this line and then these lines as well. So yeah, sorry about that. I didn't need those lines after all. But let's go ahead and cut out the head first. It's going to be separate because I want it to be on a separate paper. There we go, a headless owl. That aside. Now I'm going to cut along all three of these lines. So I have two separate things. If you want to take the time now to just label them, a wing and body, you're welcome to do so. That way they don't get a little too confusing because I mean, obviously they're not the same, but you never know. So wing, you don't have to do this though. Body, so that way you know. Cutting along this line. When I cut out the body, I'm going to make the body just a little bit bigger on this portion where it's supposed to meet the wing, so on my scrap paper, whatever paper I'm cutting out to be the final paper, I'll make it a little bit bigger. That way it sits underneath the wing. And that way you have that overlap. You don't have any of that way we don't have any of the background showing through. We want just a little bit of overlap. And actually, same thing with wherever it touches the head too. So if you want to, I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to, just to make things a little bit easier on you, we can label these areas where you're supposed to make it a little bit bigger. So maybe I'll just put like an arrow. So make it a little bit bigger there. I think I did the same thing for the wing, but just this part here. So the wing, where it meets the head, we'll just put a little arrow there. Again, that's so that we have a little bit of overlap, so that our background doesn't show through. Now, for those of us who don't need to make any more, what is it, like scrap papers, you can start cutting out your pieces now. So start with the small ones, just because, again, it's a little bit easier. So I'll probably start with the head and all this stuff in here. Now, let me take out. So this goes for anybody, okay? Even if you have like your paper that you painted, if that's ready, you can go ahead and cut things out now. You're welcome to use a pencil to trace it out. So let's see, maybe I will do 8. Maybe I'll have the feet be right here. Like one there, one there. So don't need to do anything special. Literally just trace it out and cut it out. So start doing that with your small pieces. There we go. Trace it out. You're welcome to trace it using your Sharpie marker or not, or just your pencil. Completely up to you. So there's that. Can cut it out now. Oops, that's what it is. Maybe in about just a couple minutes, we'll just pause for a second. That way we can create the branches. So that shouldn't take too long. Here's my little foot. Looks totally different, cut out into a different shape. I'm thinking maybe I'll make this section one of the beaks, just because it has gold in it. Like I already put gold in it. There we go. All done for the feet. Can set those aside. the beak. So my beak can be here. Feet and beak, same color.
Was your beak oval?
Yes, yeah, just a small oval. Here we go. Later on, I will use the Sharpie to draw the beak inside, but I'll do that later.
But the main shape is just going to be an oval, right? If I just cut an oval.
Yeah, honestly, I probably didn't need to trace it. It was there. It was there, so I did. Let's see. I have the eyeball, so just maybe over here. Nice green eyeball over here. Maybe I'll grab an eyeball from the blue side over here. Multicolored. There we go. Easy enough. Now feel free to make them a little bit bigger if you want to. Once you cut it though, you can't really make it bigger, but keep that in mind in the drawing process. And I will also use a Sharpie to make the pupils and outline it too. There you go. Set the eyeballs inside. For me, my head, I'll go ahead and use one of my nicer papers. Ooh. That's pretty. I like this one though. What is this one? Very geometric. Very geometric owl. Put this over here. Outline. There we go. Put it out now. In a moment now, as soon as I'm finished cutting this circle, we'll take a pause to do the branches. So I'm going to get those to dry. They won't take a long time to dry, but still want to get them on there as soon as possible. All right, I have no idea what this is actually going to look like. And then I'll get to make my eyebrows now. So this is my little folder of scrap. This right here was an old painting that I wanted to give new life, so I'm going to do that now.
I feel like I'm so purposeful, and then I'm like, so at least it's working for AnCan mental health relief and creativity and community.
Good. I feel like for you, you probably really had to think differently for this project.
No, I don't think. I just do what you
That's
do.
even better. That's even better. You don't think? I love
I
it.
don't think I can't do this stuff without you.
Man,
And
I
it's
feel
okay. You know,
no, I really feel like you are thinking through it. I mean, yes, you see what needs to be done because of what I'm demonstrating, but you know, for you, you have to organize it a different way. Or maybe no, not organize. Maybe you have to tackle it a different way. You have to approach it a different way.
yeah, but then it's all okay. I can show you what I have just because it might disappear because I have layers.
Yeah, yeah.
But when
Let
I
me
started
see.
drawing this, my owl was, oh wait, I'm plugged in.
Where are you? There you
My owl was really light. And then, you know, I'm also just working on all the tools.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my owl. I'm always afraid I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Oh, what you can't see is there is the background, but
Oh,
you can't see it.
yeah, I can't see it, but the
You can
owl
see in
looks
the layer.
great.
You see my blue background in the layer?
Oh, okay. Did you hide that layer?
You know how
Yeah,
difficult
I
this
hid
is
the
for
layer.
me?
But then
Trying
I
to
started
do things.
drawing it with the background,
I
and
glued it already and I forgot to do the trees behind, so I'm gonna have to,
it
I'll
already
be able
looks
to do it,
great.
you know.
So I'm
Um,
gonna put
Once
texture on those wings.
you're gonna put texture on the wings?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
make the head green. I can't hold it up. My right hand's too weak. But anyway, and then I have background. So I might screw it all up, but at least I have witnesses. Sort it out.
No, it looks
Sort
good.
it out. Reasonable.
Marcy, you said that you had already glued it and you forgot
Yeah,
about the
I'm already like screwed
ah.
up. And this is so
Well,
difficult for me, because my hands are not coordinated. I could imagine, Karen, if you were cutting this stuff out.
No,
oh, I gotcha.
I
You
can't
know,
even.
I'm
I
not
can't.
coordinated for this kind of work.
I'm
For the
not even.
cutting?
Yeah, the cutting and oh my goodness, this is so difficult. My hands don't work the way you understand. Whoever's hand problems understand.
Yeah.
Your hands just don't do what you want them to do.
Well, I'd
Still
still
love
love
to
to
see
see
it
it later.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be all right. I'll be able to. Oh my goodness.
Okay, let me show you how to do the branches. I don't know why, but I hear myself talking. It's very distracting.
I'm trying to find it.
That's so weird.
Alexa's is open. Maybe it's that.
Oh, okay.
I just opened it to say that I'm trying to find it, so it's not me.
No, it was me. Somehow my computer got unmuted.
Oh, well, that would explain it.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't do that. Anyway,
Let's blame it on the owl.
yeah, it's the owl.
Like hoot hoot.
The owl spirit energy. Okay, so I don't need a whole lot of my black paint, okay? Just going to take one of my pointy brushes. I mentioned earlier that you can use either a tiny one or maybe a medium-sized one, whichever one you're comfortable with, okay? Or anything, any other size in between, okay? Now I have this. I'm going to tape it down. Okay. We just need black paint, that's all. Hi, Callie. Now I'm gonna take some of my water and I'll just water it down just a little bit. What the? I still heard myself. That's so weird.
Yep, it's you because I see it on the captions.
But you know what's weird? My audio is not like it's crossed out, but I could still hear myself. That was weird. Anyway, okay, so let's take some water and I'm just going to just mix a little bit of that water in with it. Remember how, I don't know if you remember, I mentioned earlier that in the original, I kind of went overboard with the branches. It's because I love doing the branches. but I want to make, you can do as many as you want up here. The only important one is one that your owl is going to be sitting on top of. So this one, so we can do this one in a little bit, and maybe after one or two up here. So maybe do somewhere up here. So you can squish down your brush. That way it's a little bit thicker. Relieve pressure as you move upward to get the thinner branches. You really only need like maybe 2, maybe 3 branches coming off of that. You don't need a lot. Maybe I'll do one coming from the side so it's thicker. So I'm on the edge here, so I'm pressing down. I'm refilling often. Relieve pressure whenever you want to get a thinner one. So maybe I'll stretch that up. And that's probably all I need there. So I'm good. The only important one is going to be the one on the bottom. So it's a much thicker one, and that one does go across the page completely. You can do as many of those branches as you want, okay? I had done that big branch before even thinking about where I was going to put my feet, but it is kind of flat. It's a flattish branch. So not flat, but like it's more horizontal. It's a better way to put it. More horizontal. So I'll just grab more paint. I'll start on the thicker side. So over here, and I'll just kind of stretch it. Again, it is a thicker one. I can stretch it across as like the main branch. Super thick on the side. And then perhaps I can do another branch here. Maybe another one that kind of goes down here. It can be a really thick branch too. Maybe I'll just make another one going up. And that's it. Looks like my owl can sit pretty comfortable right there. That's all we need. You're welcome to do more if that's what you want. So we're not going to do any more painting. So unless you need some more paper to paint, but I'm not going to do any more because that was the last of it. Set this aside. Okay. All right, now I mentioned going back to the body and the wings. I'll tell you how I tackle that. I want to decide what papers to do. Let's see. Oh, that's right. I had made my papers earlier. Now I remember. Okay. So I recommend doing this one in pencil. Just in case you need to erase. I don't think you will, but just in case you do. You'll start on the side that you don't need to adjust. So this is the side that's not going to be underneath anything. It's going to be showing. So you can start with that one. I think this is good. This is the side that I'm going to be showing. Not going to be overlapping. I mentioned earlier that these two sides with the arrows, they need to be just a little bit bigger so that they fit underneath the owl head for this side. So I'm just stretching the pencil line, and then I'll just kind of stretch it down. Stretch it, stretch it. It definitely does not need to be like the same width. In fact, it can be a little bit bigger if you want it to be. but I'll just stretch it here. I'll go by this one, this line that's out here. Okay. So now I have what I'm going to cut. It's okay if this part looks a little funny. That's going to be covered. I'll cut it in a second. Let me go ahead and do the wing. So for the wing, the only part that's going to be hidden is going to be underneath the head. So same thing, I'll start with a spot. So one of these two sides, because these are going to be showing. I mentioned I wanted to maybe make the wing a little bit bigger, so I can just kind of stretch out like that. Doing with pencil. These are the two sides that are going to be showing. And then up here where it's supposed to fit underneath, I'll just stretch it like that. You can see that. And done. Now I can cut it. Hopefully my tissue paper is dry by now. Yay, I am so excited for this. Can't wait to see. Now, whenever I actually cut out the tissue paper specifically, some of those pieces are going to just be very, very roughly chopped up. Like I'm literally just going to cut long strips of it. But then other pieces are going to be leaf shaped. And I'm not going to draw any of those out. I'm just going to wing it with those because they don't need to be anything fancy. They don't need to be anything. They just need to be slightly football shaped or wing or leaf shaped, and that's it. Ooh, I can already see. You see how I cut this part here? This part's bigger, so it's going to overlap. You guys see that? Okay, I'm so excited. Let me bring this back. I had put the leaves on there after I glued my owl. So once you guys are finished cutting everything out, you can start assembling her or him. So there's that. I'm just gonna do a little preliminary cut here. I just realized, I'm sorry, preliminary assembly. I think it's called a dry assembly. That's what they call it. I want her to be a little bit more angled, I think. Yeah. And actually, I kind of like the way this looks with the wing on this side. I didn't really expect to like the way that looked. But I don't know, just observing that. I'll go ahead and keep it as is. If it's easier for you, you can actually take some tape, and it can be your blue painter's tape, or it can be really any tape. And you can actually assemble it and just tape it on the back. So see if you can like pick once you're happy with the way it looks as is, see if you can pick it up and then put some tape on the back. That way it sticks together. So it's an option. You don't have to do it like that. But if it makes your life easier, then why not? I don't know where my blue tape went. My blue tape. I'm telling you, there's a ghost in here that takes my things. Or a wormhole. Oh, it's right here, right in front of me. So anyway, whenever I actually glue the owl together, I'll glue it with the tape still on. So it's just to keep things together. So again, it's not something that has to be done. So maybe I'll put it, I think that's a good place for the head. So turn that around. Oops, don't need a lot. There you go. Almost seems like a robot owl. Eyes. I probably won't be able to tape the eyes, but those should be easy enough. Now, in a moment here, I do want to draw the eyes, like the pupils and such, and I don't want to do it while it's on here. So, I mean, you can, but for me, I want to keep the Sharpie marker on the green part, just because it's a little easier that way. But I just kind of want to see how this looks. Ooh, I did promise you the forehead too. So actually, if you want to do the forehead a separate color, I'll make that optional. But I can show you how to do that now. And actually, if you're going to do the forehead, then you'll want to go back to your original template. And we'll cut a piece of the forehead out of the template. So if that's you, let's go ahead and do that. And this is just something, this forehead, we'll cut it out and you'll paste it directly onto the head, underneath the eyebrows and underneath the eyes. So I know by looking at this that my beak is directly in the center. So I just need to just make like a pretend beak, okay? Like this is just pretend. The only important lines are the lines that jump out like this. That's the forehead. That's the part we're going to cut out right here. That's all. They're kind of curved. You can make them even more curvy if you wanted to. So theoretically, I could just kind of make them like that. So that they're more curvy. I've curved it down here. Whatever you want to do. Then that's what you'll cut out. Don't mind the beak. That was just for show. Just to gauge where to start. There we go. And now I can see where it fits. So I will pick a color. Guess let's do this. There we go. Again, this is just optional. You can start gluing down the big portions of your bird at any time, okay? So I know I mentioned that we're going to do like the pupils and the outline for the eyeballs, but your wings and your body and your head, that can be glued down. Oh, you know what? You got to do the feet though. Don't forget to put the feet underneath it. So if you need to just slip the feet right in, do that now before it gets dry. Remember, you can also tape the feet too. Okay. She's gonna look so cool. Okay. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll go ahead and paste my feet and my body, my head together and to glue my feet. There we go. I'm thinking the way I'll do it, just because it seems to work for me, the way I'll do it is I'll glue the whole body down, and then I'll like slip the feet on underneath with some extra glue. So that's easier for me at least. So I got these all taped together. Whenever I put the glue on, I like to put most of the glue on the outside. And then just kind of squiggle it in there. And I may need to put something that's a little heavier on top of it just for a couple minutes. So maybe I'll put like some of my paint bottles on top. There we go. It's okay if some of the glue seeps out, because it's just going to it'll dry clear, so that's okay. If you need to maybe slip some glue underneath here, underneath the wing, you can do that as well. So do that under the wing. And I can put some glue right here, right at the top of my feet. And then underneath the rest of my feet. It is going to seep out. That's all right. Put that glue bottle right on top. And on top, I have another foot to glue down. A little bit there. He's just gonna aim for this branch. She's really trying to squeeze herself onto this branch. There we go. Just coming along. Okay. So I want to go ahead and I'll glue down my forehead, and then I'll show you guys how to do the drawing parts for the eyes and the beak. So that's what I'll do first. I will glue down my forehead, so you can go ahead and do that too. And it feels funny to say that. Glue your forehead down. I'm glad I chose a different pattern though, because I needed something to break up like this pattern for the head. There we go. I'll put another bottle right on top of that. There. That's it for a second. Definitely need more glue under here. Okay. So while I'm letting that do its thing and just kind of glue, where is it? There we go. It's my beak. Where did I put my eyes? Where did I put my eyeballs? Here they are. All right, found my eyes. So I'll just go ahead and get my Sharpie or a piece of paper to put underneath it. Go ahead and outline. So do that for your beak and for your eyes. Outline the outside. There we go. Outside.
Outline the outside of the beak also?
Yes, correct.
I'm gonna do my marker.
And then also outline the outside of the eyes. Now you can make the outline around the eyes a little bit thicker too, if that's what you want. Because it'll create like I mean, it's an outline, so of course it can be as thick as you want it to be. Just be sure to do it to both eyes. What you do to one, do to the other. And if you want to, you can start to make the pupils too. Although I'll show you how to do that. Now you'll notice for this owl, there's like a clear spot where I didn't put any color. There's nothing in it. So first I started out with the circle itself, and then I did a tiny circle in the middle, and then I colored just everywhere outside of the tiny circle. So it's right in the middle, it just kind of makes things easier. So there's my circle. And then there is the tiny circle, that one. And then I'll color everything around it, around the tiny circle. She's going to be so beautiful. Okay, there's my circle. There's the pupil. Coloring everything around it. There we go. And I meant to ask, has anyone around here held an owl before?
Anyone, what?
Held an owl?
Held an owl, wow.
Yeah. Anyone?
You?
I did.
I haven't. Mm-mm. What was that, Marcy?
I did at the Nature Center here in San Diego.
Oh, you did? Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
What kind of owl was it?
Wow. They found it. It was injured and they kept it because its wing was injured. I don't know. It was probably just it was kind of brown. It was brown. It wasn't a white owl or anything. It was brown.
Yeah.
It was quite big actually though.
Oh, okay. It's pretty big.
It was quite big.
Cool. I hear owls all the time around here. Now, just to show you guys order of operations, the eyes go underneath the eyebrows. So you can put those in anytime, okay? But I do want to show you the beak, okay? So the beak, all this is just a line, just a curved line that goes from one side to the other. It gives the illusion of having like a top beak and a bottom beak in perspective. So just a line. Here it is. This beak is much bigger. So the top beak, I want it to face that way. So the line is going to start way down here. It's just going to curve like that. And again, it's just the illusion of having a larger top beak in perspective.
Oh.
Yeah. So that top portion is bigger. Oh, she's so cute. I love her. Glue that down.
Oh my goodness. I guess this way.
Where is my glue? It's driving me crazy. Come on. Okay. The eyebrows will go on top of the eyes, okay? Now my tissue paper should be dry by now. At least that's what I'm hoping. But even if it's not, it's okay. It should be mostly dry. And just a little note while I'm assembling the eye, I want the pupils to face the same direction. So this pupil facing up that way. Can't really tell with this one, but kind of looks like it's supposed to be that direction. I guess I made this pupil look like it's a little bit more in the center. And that's all right. I'm not too worried about that. Maybe a little bit lower. And then I'll put her beak in the middle. Definitely need something to hold it down. Okay. Now remember, whenever I cut out my tissue paper, I'm going to cut out the strips first. Just cut those really unevenly. Just got to be careful picking it up. If you can be gentle with it. There we go. I'll glue the eyebrows on in a minute. I want to get you guys started with the leaves first. So I will get those eyebrows, but those will wait. So let me bring out the original again. So you see how some of them have shape and then some of them don't. Some of them are just all over the place. So with the all over the place ones, now remember, if you have tissue paper, like actual tissue paper, that's great too. Use that. No matter what though, no matter what you're using, cut it into just small strips. You don't need a lot. Now I definitely want like something to catch these little pieces. So I'll just take my little thing and throw these little papers out in the trash can. Now I can cut these little pieces. So I can just take my little strips here. They don't need to be fancy. I would call these little pieces just filler. They are the leaves that you kind of see when you maybe like squint or take your glasses off. It's just the impression of color. That's all that is. Be careful when you're getting to the end there. Now what I will do whenever I actually go to glue them down, I will put a bunch of glue on the surface and then just stick them on. Just stick them on. So, and I did put these first, okay? So before I cut out the actual leaf shapes, I put these on. So I will concentrate these just at the ends. Just kind of squeeze it and spread the glue.
This is starting to look so cute.
Yay! Like once you assemble it, right? It starts to come to life.
Well, I took the tissue paper and I folded it up and then sectioned it and then cut out so that I have a lot of leaves because it was all folded up. So you just unfold all the extra leaves.
Yeah, that's a better idea. It's a good idea. I'll just kind of sprinkle them on. Might want to have like a napkin or something nearby so you can wipe the glue off. Yeah, see, that's a good idea, Marcy. Cut multiples. I think what I will do though is I'll squish them down, maybe using my gift card. That way I don't have to touch too much of it.
I wish I had some of that stick glue that the kids used to use when they were in school.
Oh, yeah. That would have come in handy. I know I have some, I just don't know where it is. I miss doing projects like this in school though.
This is so difficult though.
They tell you not to eat the paste. That was that paste.
Oh, the paste was good.
Oh, did you say the paste was good?
Yeah, you could eat it when you were little. Not today.
Yeah.
The chemicals they have on things today. But, back in my day, you could eat it.
I ate the Play-Doh. I don't think I ate the glue.
No,
Okay.
there's nothing.
Yummy. That Play-Doh, yum. If you've ever tasted it though, it's super sour.
Oh, is it?
Throwing that out there. I tasted it so you don't have to. Okay, so in a moment, I will put some more leaves here. But first, I want to just kind of show you how I cut out the actual leaf shapes. So they're just football shapes. Just round them out. Oh, here's my. Just round them out. Every single one is going to be a little bit different. A little smaller, a little bigger. Oops. So just cut them out really wherever you see fit, wherever you can fit them. I keep missing the ends of it though. As many as you have patience for. So probably 5 for me, because for whatever reason, I just don't have as much patience for these guys. Okay. So kind of place them around the same area as these guys, as the other ones. So I can just kind of put them down. And voila! Suddenly, it looks a little more sophisticated. And that only took one. Even squeeze this one underneath right there. Just takes a few. I need to maybe add my eyebrows on. And then I want to open the floor to anyone who wants to share. Even though we are still working, if there's anybody who really wants to share, can certainly do so.
Well, I got a little bit confused when I was just going for it being a collage, and so a friend of mine has been wanting me to send her some photos of foliage, of the fall foliage here in New York.
Yeah.
And I missed it. By the time I got out there was nothing but yellow and brown leaves. So morning I went walking to find things for the project and decided that I would make her a collage of the fall leaves that I found and turned that into the owl.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds super cool. I want to see this. Hold on.
So I was lucky, and a squirrel had cracked, a little nut near where I was. So I had a beak right there.
That's amazing. Okay. Alexa, can we maybe spotlight Jeanette?
Uh-huh.
I'm always awkward at how to do this, so I just put the painting up, right?
Yeah, you just need to put it up. I just want to.
So
There we go.
So
that is so cool.
Oh, that's neat.
So the eyes are pods that I found, and then just pieces of plants that lying around, and then the maple leaf up where the beak is, and then there's 2 leaves that show as the wings.
What?
And it was so nice.
So cool.
The face were just 2 flowers, 2 leaves that had the right shape, right?
Yeah. And so are those the ginkgo leaves?
I don't know what they are. They were just on the ground.
Oh, that's so cool.
Look like ginkgo. Yeah.
Is that what it is? And then there was some maple leaves so that I was able to use as the eyebrows. So that's the eyebrows. So I'm so glad now because I'll be able to send her this.
What a cool idea.
As you guys came up with it. I just needed material.
And I like your tail. What's the tail?
Well, the tail is the forehead is a red maple, and the tail is or the feet are also red maple, and I don't know what the wings are.
Wow, the wings are just perfect.
I know.
And the texture of them is. I wish you could see the texture. You see how they have the ribbing, the ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we do.
The veins. That is gorgeous.
Top of the maple is where I put underneath them to connect the face and the beak. And then you could see the eyes are nothing but the pods of an old plant, and they had these wiry kind of leaves that was behind the pod. So when I broke it off, it had instant eyelashes.
Wow. Honestly, though, the eyes look kind of fuzzy to me.
They are.
Or is it just me?
Some type of a pod when the leaves all fall off, and they're spiked. They're like little spikes.
Huh.
So she'll be happy to have her fall leaves in the shape of an owl.
She's so lucky to have that. It's so cool.
Thank you.
You did such a great job.
I missed you guys. I took a summer writing class, so I wasn't able to be here on Thursdays.
That's right. You mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm back.
I know. I'm glad you're back too. It's so pretty. Your friend is going to be so happy to have that.
I think so. So it'll be
so cool. Thank you.
But the glue will get transparent eventually, huh?
Yeah, it will. It'll change. It'll turn transparent. So you should be good.
Okay.
Who else wants to share though? Sharon, I see Sharon up there.
I want my snow.
Oh, nice. That's a good idea with the snow.
That's so cool. And how colorful it is.
You reused some of your artworks. I love that.
Oh.
I love that you did that.
I like
the eyes look so cute. What was that?
The teal. How she blended in the teal.
Yeah, the teal for the background. Yeah, that's beautiful too. But I just love the way the owl just pops, totally pops from the background. Yeah. Very happy owl.
It is a happy owl.
I know, such a good idea.
Very happy owl.
That was fun.
Love
Thanks,
it.
Sharon. Good night.
Good night.
Yes, gorgeous.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Well, mine's not glued, so I don't know if let's see.
Yeah, Jane.
Can you see?
What cool colors.
Hang on. Can you see any?
Yes, we can see.
You just the foot just fell on the floor, but
that's okay.
Oh
I
my
just
gosh.
Intellectual owl.
Yeah, I was.
And I gave them ears. I think they look more like cat ears, but
What if you were to oh, but it's not glued, is it?
no, it's not glued.
Oh, you could maybe shape them to be more curved. I think that would help.
Okay.
Yeah. But I love your owl, and I loved
Oh, yeah.
that it looks like it's asleep.
Yeah. Well, I was having
Aw.
trouble trying to figure out the eyeball, so I'm like, maybe I'll just do a curve.
No, you did great.
Oh no, great color scheme, just all of
know.
it.
I know.
So curves, all right.
Yeah, try curves.
Down the
There.
Hannah?
Oh yeah, Marcy. Yes. There we go. That sparkle at the top, I feel like that adds a really nice touch to it.
yeah, the
It's all
eyebrow.
Christmas
Your
wrapping.
owl looks great.
I know. And so you use your Christmas wrapping, right?
Yeah, it's all Christmas wrapping.
Oh, I love it.
Oh.
Well, that's such a good idea. Your feet. I love your feet.
I know the feet are so cute.
That's such a cute shape.
I'm gonna make them brown or a light tan or something with a
Ah.
marker later.
Yeah, I'm gonna color it.
This is such a difficult project. I'm telling
You
You
did
did
great though.
great.
You did. You really did.
I like it.
You persevered through it. Like I understand how it can be a lot, but you did really good with it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Hair's
Marcy.
fine. I always do fabric, so
Yeah, there
um,
you are.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Look at the trees.
I know the trees. How did you do the trees? Did you paint them in? Oh my God.
yeah, just kind of collaged them in. Some is paint, some
Wow.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then I just put and it's not glued.
Beautiful.
It's not the owl is not glued down yet.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
love the
Yeah.
trees.
Just
Yeah.
gorgeous. My God.
I feel like it's not proportioned, but I still have fun.
No, your
It's
owl's personality is
Yeah.
fantastic.
I don't know. I like where the owl lives.
Yes.
Live
The
there.
owl eats a lot. That's a fat owl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
I love it.
And I love
All right, thanks.
Oh,
Thank
cool.
I
Thank
enjoyed it.
you.
Uh-huh.
Beautiful. Oh, JP. Oh my
We got a
God.
shiny owl.
I know a shiny owl with a UFO at the top. Is that a UFO?
Yes, it's over. It's,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I always love to see what you're gonna do with the UFOs.
I grew weary after 3 or 4 leaves, though.
No, I understand. I completely understand. But it's just the color scheme is just really
Yeah.
nice.
Agreed.
It was orange and white for the back, and then the other stuff I used gold
Yeah.
and yellow, but I don't know. It
It
could be
looks
different.
it looks like a regal owl.
yes.
Just with the gold
Oh,
or
very much so.
It
It's
looks
or
supposed to be the give a hoot, don't pollute owl.
Oh,
I love it. I actually
This-
feel like the owl came from that spaceship though.
I do
yeah, it
too.
looks like an alien owl
house.
with the glitter, the
Uh-huh.
metallic clothes.
Yeah.
The spacesuit.
Yeah.
Yes, his spacesuit. That is a spacesuit. Yes, that's exactly
This
what
is
that
the
is.
owl making first contact with humans.
He's gonna leave. He'll be like, "Let me out of here."
I love the fact that you guys are getting creative with the feet, though. Just the shape of the feet. I feel like that just makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's like it's grabbing onto the branch.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That makes a lot of sense. I love it. Can y'all please send your pictures to me?
Please.
I just love
I
seeing
beg
them.
Thank you
you.
very much for hosting us again.
Of course.
Oh, and we got a Zazzly
Oh.
owl.
I know, with the glitter and then also more gold.
Beautiful.
I feel like this owl belongs on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, I can see that.
I'm having trouble getting stuff to stick down.
Ah,
But yeah, it's a little,
yeah.
they're like glittery leaves from,
Yeah,
and then this is just all like cut up leaves.
yeah.
Yes.
Anything on the trees yet.
No, I love it. I
This
love
is
the
still all
background.
This is ribbon, like here,
Oh yeah.
it's all kind of fraying, but
That's
he's all,
a good idea.
But it looks angry.
he kind of looks angry. I did the beak, I just kind of drew it. So.
Yeah, you drew
It's
it.
just sass. To me, it's just some sass.
Yeah, it's a lot of sass.
I like attitude. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
finish it more this weekend, and I'll take it.
I wanted to say though, if you're finding that the regular glue isn't really like having them like helping them to stick together, maybe bring out the big guns, like maybe bring out like super glue, something, just because the material is different. That's why.
Because some of them were bent, like curled.
Ooh.
So
Oh, okay, yeah. They're thicker.
having trouble like laying.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's all blinged out.
I know. Hey, he's getting ready to go on stage.
I know.
Love it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, Laura.
And I think I see purple.
They're so cool.
Of course, there's some purple. Do you notice what the eyes are?
The eyes?
They look like donuts.
They're donuts.
They are.
They are donuts.
I love
I
it.
love it. That's my
When I
kind
put
of
my
owl.
newspaper down as a base, there was a donut ad right on the page, and I was like, "Those look like owl eyes. I'm cutting them out right this minute."
Yes.
It's like the perfect combination.
Really,
Oh my God. It's like
and
meant,
perfect for me because I'm kind of a
meant to
donut
be.
fiend. So
It's meant to be.
Oh, it's meant to be. It goes
It's
with the
so
color
like-
scheme. It's perfect.
Uh-huh.
I like your leaves.
Yes, the
Thanks.
leaves too. Just
And
the
look-
whole
Yeah, I
color scheme.
Look at those. Those are
the beak is a pine cone. Well, a picture of a pine cone. Like
I was wondering.
since I was having like a junk mail kind of day, I had a catalog from like Snapfish or something, and I just paged through it to see what looked like an interesting color scheme on a page to cut out and use, and the
Man,
pine cone just kind of jumped off the page as the right size and shape.
right.
you guys are giving me ideas to make another one. I want to make
Seriously.
more owls now because of you guys.
Our art friends blow me away
Mhm.
consistently all
Yeah.
the time. All
My
the
feet,
time.
my owl feet are literally just where I accidentally overran my paint onto the newspaper backdrop, and it went into a circle, and I cut out the circle and then made the little toes.
And it
Work
looks like the
out.
body's grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a piece of
Yeah.
paper that I had. Like, I've literally had that piece of paper for years. I thought I was going to do something with it in a scrapbook or something as a background. And as we were making our spreading the paint scrap paper, I just suddenly
Yeah.
thought, I wonder if I still have that piece of paper in a drawer with my scrapbooking materials that I'm probably not going to use for another 40 years. I went and got it, and it was sitting right there, and I was like, it just
It's
needed to be used.
amazing. That's like that's so funny. You've had it for so long, and now it's in your
It was just
owl.
meant to be. It just was.
I've probably had it for 10 or 15 years, that piece of paper. Like, I don't know why I have such a stupid, vivid memory of that piece of paper that I intended to use as a background for some scrapbooking project that only ever lived in my head. But
So now I wonder how many animals or owls can you make? Like, how many animals can you make out of these scrap pieces of paper?
That could be a new collection for you. You could be having a gallery
Seriously.
very soon.
Uh-huh.
Invite all of us to your opening. That's what
right,
I have to say.
Laura.
Remember
That's
us when you
right.
become famous.
I'll come to your opening.
Uh-huh.
oh God, thank you.
When you become
Animals made out
unreachable.
of
I love it. I love it.
Remember us,
animals
little
from
people.
scrap paper and food products.
I mean, I
honestly,
feel moved. So
I have seen some actual collage artists who can get pretty detailed with their their paperworks, and not something I could do, but I bet you could do it. I love it. Thank you, Laura.
you.
Thank you.
Does
Beautiful
anybody else
guys.
want to share?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Marianne, I still see you working hard. You're working hard. You're good. I know.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you're good. You're good. Yeah, beautiful though. I would really love it if you guys could send your pictures to me. That way I can show you guys off to the world. These are such cool pictures. I feel like the world needs to see them.
Hannah, I'm not too proud to beg. Please, 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 please send these to us.
Oh,
And to if you
Marianne.
make one at home too, please.
Yeah, really. Yeah, anybody who watches this recording, please send it in, even if you
Yeah,
don't want to
Marianne,
be named, let me know.
I'll wait till you're
You
ready.
notice
There you
with
go.
your
Okay.
recordings, Alexa, thank you so much for putting the recordings out because I actually do watch it again and I comment and I give a like.
Oh,
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
oh, Marianne, I love it.
It's
That is
so
so
loud in
cool.
my house. I have
Yeah.
to stay muted because there's so much noise in my house.
Oh, I gotcha. I really love your leaves though. Just the stacking of the colors, the
Yes.
way you layered the colors together. They look really nice.
Oh,
And how
thank you.
everything contrasts with the background, like all the colors
Yes.
you chose, it just
Yes.
makes it pop.
Yeah, the
Oh.
color scheme is really nice too. I love the fact that the leaves look very, very bright and they really set
Yeah.
themselves apart from the owl. And then the owl, like it sets itself apart from everything else.
Well, thank you. I'm going to work on him
Gorgeous.
more. He's not 100% done.
He
Yeah,
is
I
in
love it.
progress.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
He's a
Yes.
work of art, okay?
He is. All of these owls are works of art.
Works of art
They're
don't
just
happen overnight.
fantastic. I'm
Thank
always
you.
blown away, Hannah.
I
Like,
know, I am
I get
too.
so excited every time, you're creating. I'm like, what are they going to
I
come up with?
know.
And then it blows my mind every time. You
I
think that
know.
I would be, like, hey, I would already know by now that my mind would be blown, but yet my mind is always blown. So here we are, like
Yeah,
2 years later, and my mind is still blown. So
yeah, I do learn from you guys too. I want you guys to know that. I do. You guys are amazing, and I do have to thank you guys for being very patient with this one because it's a long one, okay? But you guys did it.
amazingly.
I know, amazingly. I'm very proud of you guys.
Did anyone else want to share tonight?
Yeah, is there anyone we missed?
I could show you my whatever.
Absolutely.
Let's
I'm having
go.
problems with the and the last time I messed with the layers, they disappeared. So I don't want to do that. I'm not on video. But you really can't see. Actually, I'm going to blow it up. You can't see what I'm doing, but I had a lot of fun. I mean, I was like hysterically laughing inside from the textures that I used.
Oh,
Oh,
look
no.
at that.
Oh,
Ooh,
love the eyes.
I know.
And I'm not done with that. But
Look
I was
at
putting these textures, I was like,
that.
okay, how do I do collage? So I do like the different textures in the tool.
Ah,
And
That
then
is
somehow accidentally the head became hexagonic, like a hexagon.
a little bit, a little
No,
bit.
I blew it up. So let me make it smaller. The head became like a hexagon, and I'm like, oh, or whatever, some kind of knot shape. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that the program could do that.
Ooh.
Wait, let me see.
Oh, so that's a shape that the program
Like the
made?
head, yeah, it like sort of made. I had a circle, then it did that, and I'm like, well, I like that.
Wow, I
That
like
is
that
so
too.
cool.
I
And then
love
there's all these textures, and it's a lot better in person, but I'm not done. And then I have the background, which you could sort of see, but I made the background like the opacity light, but for some reason it was obscuring this.
Okay.
The background was easy to make, so I could always
Okay.
make another background and put my owl on there. When we're all done, after I took screenshots, and I'll borrow everybody's idea.
I absolutely love the texture in the head,
Yeah.
but also the fact that that texture overlaps the lines a little bit and goes outside. It just makes a really interesting style.
I kind of did that on purpose.
Oh,
Like, I mean, that accidentally on purpose thing. So I'll
Yeah.
have to figure out. I'm not sure why it happened with the layer.
Hmm.
So it obscured all that bright color.
It's a little hard to see. Can't
Yeah,
really.
but you could see whatever, but you
Oh,
could
yeah, yeah.
see it's
Yeah.
hard to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I may just make a layer and superimpose the owl on something else.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Well, see, and then it's weird when I do that, you can almost see the color, but I love the
Yeah, a little
vibrant
bit.
colors of the owl, so I'll have to just figure it out.
Yeah, you guys just blow my mind.
I
Me too.
know.
Especially you, Karen. Like, that's just amazing what you can do with the tablet.
I know.
Oh, with that?
Yeah.
No, and I'm
That's
not done. I mean, I may just do another layer and then use all the textures. There's that tool
Yeah.
with all the textures. 'Cause
Yeah,
there's
that
like
one, yeah.
flowers and grass and circles and whatever. But I was always doing it. I was just going, oh, that's so like, inside just kind of laughing my head off.
That's amazing.
So this one, I'll make sure it, this one I can tell it's a keeper. I'm going to make sure.
It's a keeper. I really
I
want to
didn't
see
get to
it.
the eyebrows yet. I have everybody's ideas.
No, you guys amaze me, all of you guys.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
Hannah, I want to issue a challenge to everyone that if they send in a picture, if they feel comfortable, to name their owl.
Oh, yes,
And
please.
to tell you when they send in their picture what their owl's name is. And
Please
then whenever
do.
you profile, because you do amazing work in profiling our participants' images, we can debut our owls to the world.
Yes, yes. Little fashion debut of all of our owls. I can't wait. I really want to put their
me
names
too.
on
I
there.
just can't.
To come up with a name for mine now. I'm thinking to call her Mrs. Candy.
Oh, I
don't
like
know.
that.
What was it?
Mrs. Candy or maybe Miss Candy? I don't know. She's just so bright.
She is.
Like a Starburst maybe, or like a Jolly Rancher.
Yeah.
She looks like Florence to me, but
Oh, Florence. Oh. I'll think of something.
Mine was starting to be Coco. I mean, this is just motivating me more to understand the tools and the layers, because I think I didn't have to do the layer. I think I could have just put it over or whatever was there, white out in the middle. I don't know, but I'm not done. I'm never done, but that's okay.
That's okay. I love that you still keep working on it.
Yeah, and it's okay when I sort of abandon.
Yeah.
Well, that's not working, because I went, well, maybe I should learn how the brushes work like after all this time.
It's a good exercise, I think, for your mind.
Well, it's not, that's when I get lost and I go, which tool was I in? So this one, I was pretty much staying in the crayon tool. Some is just, how do you work with your really huge obstacles? So I thought, stay in the crayon tool, and then like my background here, I'm gonna get rid of that.
Bye, Sharon.
I'm gonna open the background. Like, the background was fun to make, and I was sort of hoping I'd leave it open. Here, can you see? I was hoping to leave it open and kind of go over it.
I like the background, the credit card background
See,
best.
like, you still can't really even see the amount of texture and the color.
Yeah, it seems like it's probably more complex than what we're seeing.
Yeah, from what
more
like, how do I do what you were doing?
Yeah,
and not do it, and do something else.
Yeah.
Man, Hannah, do we have
Good night,
anything
Marianne.
else? Yeah, I know it's really late for East Coasters. Hannah, is there anything else we need to say before we end the recording?
I don't think so. I think you and I probably need to figure out when our next class is, because I know we discussed having it maybe a little bit earlier. Oh no, we didn't. It should be on the 19th.
No, we're good. We'll have it same time. We're good. We figured that
on
out.
the 19th.
On the video anyway.
Yeah, it's on the 19th, so we're still good. Same
we're
thing.
still good.
Yep.
December 19th.
December 19th.
Yeah, we're
That's my
still good.
birthday.
Oh,
That'll be my birthday.
Marcy.
Ooh, a Marcy birthday party.
What?
Oh, and here we have the puppo.
I know.
Okay.
Oh,
All right,
Oh,
everybody.
babies.
Thank you
Have
so
a happy
much.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Thank you,
Guys. We really appreciate you. You were so phenomenal, so talented. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Good night.